Hi guys, welcome or welcome back. My name is Rees and I'm here to bring a message to whomever this resonates with. Oh, you want to come out. Miscarriage. Reclaim your power. Honeymoon. So this is about, wow. Remembering who you are. Miscarriage, I hope that's not a trigger word for anybody, but this card specifically is about forgetting a huge part of yourself, okay? Losing a huge part of you. The overall energy is reclaim your power, and immediately after that is honeymoon. So it's remembering who you are in a graceful way, showing yourself a bunch of grace, a whole lot of grace, by remembering who you are. Okay, some of you guys may have went through a couple of things, and maybe this is why you are forgetting a huge part of yourself. That's why they're saying to reclaim your power, okay? Go back to the things that make you you, regardless of what society is saying, regardless of how anybody is trying to mold you to be. Go back to what makes you you. Remembering who you are in a graceful way. Two of Pentacles. Yeah, maybe some of you guys were imbalanced for a while. You know, too much on one side and not enough of this. Too much work and no play at all. You have to do both, all right? You have to make sure and ensure that there is a balance to continue going. So with the reclaim your power, maybe whatever you lost a part of you was, like I said, some of you guys are all work and no play at all. Maybe where you lost your power was being so engulfed. Engulfed is funny because that literally means to be covered in flames, but to be so engulfed with your work, like you're on fire, you're going at it, like, but it's just work, it almost leading to burnout, like, you know, like now there's nothing left but ashes, all because you didn't make sure that you had the balance in there. Okay, don't be all fire and no emotion, no water, no allowing yourself to be creative and let go and flow. Okay, you have to balance there. So that's the Two of Pentacles. The Three of Swords. Yeah, man, some of you guys, wow, it was probably tough losing that big part of you. It hurt. It confused you. Maybe it severed relationships close to you, like you didn't even mean for it to, but some of you guys, low spots, your depression or whatever, however you were feeling, may have caused you to walk away from the very things that you, or the very people that you actually love, all because you didn't have that balance there. Okay, so that's very specific, but I'm seeing that whatever it was very like heart-wrenching for you. It was like heavy. Okay, so I'm getting that from the Three of Swords. The Five of Wands. This card doesn't need to be in here. The Five of Wands, yeah, it was a challenge. It was a lot for you. You had to do a lot. You had to figure out a lot. Wow. You could have felt like it was always something. I hate saying that because when you say that, you're manifesting that to actually happen. But for some of you, it could have literally felt like that. It could have literally felt like, oh my goodness, it's always something, all because you lost a big part of it, you know? So like that imbalance will cause you to like be imbalanced on the outside as well, you know, as within, so without. So like you feel like, oh my God, it's always a challenge. Life has its ebbs and flows, but like for some of you guys, y'all were just always on this side. Like, dang, I'm going through another lesson. Like, it's not that, oh, when we get blessed, when we reach this state, everything blows away. It's not that. It's just you're more equipped to handle this. Okay, so new levels, new devils, absolutely. But it's for some of y'all with this Five of Wands, it's kind of like you were just always faced with the devil, kind of. It's just like, damn, like, am I ever going to be able to relax a little bit? But that was the imbalance. Okay, that's what happens when you're all work. That's what happens when you're all fire. You're gonna bring some heat. And some of y'all did. A lot of y'all did. Seven of Wands. Interesting, because that's another with the Three of Swords. It came out immediately after the Five of Wands. Hold on, give me a second. I think this has something to do with... And then the Ten of Swords. Two of Swords. Oh, Oh, okay. And then the Justice. Oh, okay. And then here comes the Six of Wands, and then here's the Hierophant and the High Priestess. Okay, so yeah, you guys are definitely protected throughout this whole thing. All right, that's the good news. That's why the Seven of Wands is here. So with all these disappointments that you may have faced, at the very least, you were still protected, okay? This was only happening because you've lost a big part of yourself. That's just literally what happens when you have an imbalance in your life like that. You're calling in this energy. You're literally asking for this all the time because that's where you're putting your focus and your energy in, right? If this is the only place you are, this is all that you're doing, this is all that you're, taking in, then as within, so without. So this is all that you're like involving yourself in. Of course, that your life is going to look like, such. So the good news is, though, with the Seven of Wands in line with the Three of Swords, even though you were going through some, heartbreaking things, some heavy things, sorry, y'all, you were still protected in all of this. So that's great. That's really, really good. With this Ten of Swords here in line with this Two of Pentacles, hopefully you have an understanding now to never do that again. The Ten of Swords is a 10, so that's completion of your thoughts. That's in line with the Two of Pentacles. Your Two of Pentacles is what you were lacking. You were like, your seesaw wasn't even, all right? So put some more, I guess, rest and relaxation in there. Not necessarily rest and relaxation, but like going towards yourself. Because when you don't have yourself, this is what happens, okay? So call your power back, which I feel like you are. You guys are remembering this. Remembering yourselves again. And this is why we have these cards right here. We have the Two of Swords, the Justice, and the Six of Wands. So the Two of Swords, again, it's another card of a two, a weighing, a like up and down, here and there. Sorry, I had to read something. You're going like this a little bit. Also with the Justice card, that is also like scales and balance and getting even. Interesting, guys. You guys, all you have to do is just find your balance. That's all you're doing, is finding your balance again. And finding your balance again by remembering who you are. That's all. That's all. So for some of y'all are heavy in Five of Wands energy, where you're constantly having to prove yourself. You're constantly having to jump over a hurdle. You have to fight some type of battle, and then you feel like it's so heavy and that you always have to do something. It's like annoying after a while at this point. But really, that's just life's way of positioning you into a much more balanced state. Where you were before, how you were operating before, it was not conducive to where you were going. Simple as that, all right? So let's go ahead and pull from here. And I'm gonna let you guys go. Well, I could have something to do with balance or remembering who you are. I just feel like it will. Adventure? It didn't. Adventure is the path to new worlds, okay? So, whoa. When remembering who you are, I guess allow yourself to be free. That's very interesting. That's very interesting. Adventure is the path to new worlds. You also just had to do this. You had to do this. Maybe you guys are so headstrong that, it was kind of in your path for you to act the way you are now. Like somewhere along your timeline, your spiritual team knew that you were going to do this. They knew you were going to be all work or no play, okay? Just because you're just so headstrong and focused and, goal-oriented the way you are. But what you experienced, those blockages, because those were essentially blockages, those blockages that you experienced was really like you exploring life a little bit. Some of y'all are very wise already, okay? And y'all are always on like the green side. You're always on the winning side. You're always on the safe side because you've always done things correctly. But yeah, allow yourself to have that balance and see what else lies out there. Awareness, maintain awareness, be present in every moment. Yep, it was just for you to gain the awareness, the clarity, for you to explore that side as well. Some of you guys are just so good at life. Even if you've had a couple of hiccups or whatever, you came out so strong. All right, you've always were victorious. You've always persevered. So you've always done things great. Okay, I'm not saying you were always a straight A student or always perfect, but you've always strived to achieve, and you have always succeeded. Okay, regardless of what lies ahead of you or what anything was trying to put into your way to distract you or deter you or detour you or whatever. Okay, but I'm seeing that you went through that so you can actually experience a little bit of the darker side of life. You were very green. You were very much so on the good side. So your experience was very wise. If you ask me, you can listen to somebody else's story, hear their what's the word I want to use? Their testimony, thank you, and very much so learn from their experience rather than you actually having to go through everything that they went through. You know, like you learned so much. Good job. Good job. All right, I think that is it. I'm gonna let you guys go. Yeah. All right, I love y'all. Bye.